In the 70s, I was a freelance photographer. I was part documentary photographer and part art photographer. And the scene around Sydney was my main subject, which included the artistic community, the gay community, and also the celebrity circuit. But in the late 80s, I started to do performances in the theatre. This is talking with image projection. And that became a way of showing photos for me. All my pieces are autobiographical, and I suppose that's what makes me different from your average documentary photographer. I'm an Australian-born Chinese, and so I tell a story about migration and also about the two different cultures. There's the Western culture, which I was born into, and the Chinese Eastern culture, which I've appropriated or embraced. And because I'm gay, so there's also the gay story, which is like a subcultural group within a dominant society. So I kind of come from left of field. And also I was born into the hippie generation, and so I identify a bit with activism and how you can actually get social change. That's probably one of my themes. And I've seen it in the gay movement, where over the past 40 years, real social change has happened. So in 2010, I applied for an Australia Council Fellowship to convert my performance pieces into small screen or video format. I also arranged a visiting fellowship with the University of New South Wales, and I've always had strong support from Sue Goldfish from the Creative Practice Unit.
Well, William Yang's had a very long association with us here in the school. So when William approached Dr. Erin Brannigan and myself about this new project, about translating his work from the live arena to the small screen, we were really interested, because what it would do is give us the opportunity to actually witness what would happen to the work in this transformation from live to the small screen. And that's exactly what's happened in the last couple of years. Academics and students have been able to witness that process, and it's been really interesting.
It's all part of a process of archiving my collection to make it accessible to future generations. And the best way I've found of making them accessible is to have them in a story. And so it's a way of bringing it to life to other people. And I also like touching stories where you're aware that you're human and vulnerable. In fact, even now, I think that my performance pieces are my greatest works. But we didn't fall out because I was contrite. When people fell out with Patrick, there was always a big clash of egos. We used students to help us make the pieces. We had an extremely good set of students, and after we'd assembled a rough cut, we used to show it to students and some of the academics to get their feedback. But we didn't fall out because I was contrite. And because it's all located on the one campus, it makes it a very congenial environment to be making things. So my stories are about history from my particular point of view. And because of who I am, they're like alternative histories of Australia.